SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Waiting. You do it at grocery stores, in traffic, and at the doctor's office. But what if you could skip the wait altogether? Introducing Trust Care Plus, a healthcare membership that makes feeling better even faster. Skip the waiting room and enjoy priority access at any Trust Care clinic. Sick kid? Text your care crew day or night. Get discounts on prescriptions and so much more. Wait no more. Feeling better just got a whole lot faster. Join Trust Care Plus today. Plans start from just $15 a month. Learn more at trustcarehealth.com/plus.
Roll pre-record on my count. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Roll A, fade up on A.
Southern Miss to the top. You're tuned in to the Eagle Hour.
All right, here we go. Welcome aboard, everybody. Super Talk Eagle Hour on the air. Bob Getty, Kelly Sander. We're in the Southern Bancorp studio. We're joined by our good friend Daniel Stewart. About to bring Travis Creel on the show. Opening segment sponsored by Dickey's Barbecue Pit, proud supporters of Southern Miss Athletics, as we broadcast from the Southern Bancorp studio here in Oak Grove. Well, there's an old saying, Kelly, as a reporter, you know this, you had to stay emotionally unattached to the things that you're covering, and I have failed miserably in covering Southern Miss baseball.
It's hard, isn't it?
It's hard.
And the thing about baseball, too, it's easiest to get attached to baseball and basketball players because roster sizes are smaller.
Right.
It's tougher with football only because there's 105 guys on the team.
Right.
But these guys, and most of them have they haven't trained. These are not a lot of guys that have transferred in. Most of them are Mississippi guys, and your heart just breaks.
That's a good description.
You don't know what else to say.
That's it. Golden Eagles drop a 4-5 season-ending loss last night to Miami. Eagles finished 47-16. I have to try to keep that in mind. 6-3 in the postseason, but it doesn't solve the hurt that you just described. Coach Travis Creel joins us. Coach Oz in exit meetings with a lot of his players, and Coach Creel very gracious, as he's been all year with us, to come on the show. Coach, I know that tell me if I'm wrong here. I mean, I do know it was a great year. 47-16. Gosh, we would have taken that at the start of the year gladly. 6-3 in postseason play. This is what frustrates me, Coach. You beat every team in the regional. Every single team that's in your regional, and yet you don't win the regional. And then on top of it, we drop it by one run. Your thoughts this afternoon?
Yeah, obviously with you guys, it hurts. You hurt for the players. You just, you're so close to dogpiling, man. And we had such a good group of players, a good group of people. It's just heartbreaking, and it's going to take a little bit to get over.
Well, I know exactly how you feel. Get in here, Kelly.
Well, I don't think I think there's a difference between losing a game and being beaten. I don't think the Eagles necessarily did anything to lose the game. The Miami team that I saw last night was a different team than the Miami team I saw the night before. I mean, they were making great defensive plays. I know the Eagles had a couple of great outfield plays, but Miami made the defensive plays. And the way that they used I think we realize now that Miami was using some second-tier pitchers the night before. They had kind of cashed it in,
late
thinking,
in the game.
that we're not going to win this game, so let's save as much of our guys as we can for the game. And they responded. They just plain and simple.
You agree with that, Coach?
Yeah, you're spot on. It's almost in playoff baseball, especially when you have to beat a team twice. It's almost not good to beat a team so bad the first time because they had two closers, Smith and the guy that finished the game. They didn't have to use them on Sunday night, and they ended up covering 5 innings for them last night. And those guys are really tough, all ACC type guys. So you're right, Kelly. They definitely, once we scored 9 in the first on Sunday, they punted and brought in some guys that they knew they were probably going to lose the game and saved up for Monday.
And see, when you talk about a different team that you saw in the Miami team last night than the game that Southern Miss trounced them, same thing happened to Columbia. Columbia routed Southern Miss. The Eagles were a completely different team when they played.
You knew what was coming.
Yeah, I mean, the Southern Miss team was completely different the second time they played Columbia. Like, that isn't going to happen again.
Yeah. What did you guys say to the kids last night, Coach?
Just how proud we are. Oz had a great message for the team, and then obviously, I had the hitters, and I told them, and it's the truth. It's one of, if not, my favorite groups I've ever coached. Obviously, they're really good players, but man, this group just showed up to work every single day. They had so much fun while they were doing it. So many great personalities, and some older guys that I'm gonna miss, man. It's tough. You're with these kids for 4 to 5 years, and every single day, talking with them about baseball and life and everything, and it's for some of those guys. It's over, and obviously, I'll still stay in touch with those guys, but the day-to-day interactions and the day-to-day conversations, it's what you miss the most. Is the relationships with these guys. So just how proud we are.
And what poetic justice it was that Carson Peto's last at bat was a home run.
My wife, Coach, is convinced that it was divine intervention.
No, I 100% agree. I 100% agree. I got chills watching it, and that kid's been through so much and done so many great things for his program. And he's done so many great things for his community. I mean, he's the epitome of what we want in our program, and for him to go out like that was awesome.
Another kid that I wanted to mention as we get into the conversation, I thought such a courageous effort last night by Matt Adams. 4 2/3, 9 strikeouts on 2 days rest. I know you had to be extraordinarily proud of him.
No, that was awesome, especially, the first outing didn't go quite how he wanted it. And then for him to come out there and give us a chance to win when we knew, our pitching was going to be a little thin. It always is on a Monday in a regional. And for him to go out and cover 4 1/3, 4 2/3, whatever he covered, that was awesome. And he was that was pure will and guts, man. He was just out there competing and living on the adrenaline.
The emotional and mental expenditure that it takes to do what Matt Adams did. And sometimes I don't think baseball players get credit for being as tough as they really are.
Right.
You're not hitting somebody in a helmet and pads, so you're not tough. But let me tell you something.
No,
what he did was, and Landon Payne to come in like he did, and Landon Payne last night didn't know that anybody else was there. I mean, the look on his face was like, I got a job to do, and if there's people here, fine. If there's not, fine. I thought his performance can't be understated either.
Coach, we got a former pitcher here in the studio with us. You got something you want to ask Coach Daniel?
Well, as a former player, I kind of remember how these times were when we never made it to the postseason while I was there, but conference tournament was there. So the thing I've kind of noticed about our players is that these guys, you can tell, love the game of baseball and they love the Golden Eagles, and they look so happy. But, it's not happy in like a lackadaisical kind of way, happy in like just a joy of being a baseball player. Coach, do you agree with that? I mean, Matthew Russo's the first guy that comes to mind. I've never seen the guy look unhappy at all. What's your take on that?
No, I think you're spot on, Daniel. And it's everybody thinks it's cliche to say, but just incredible group of guys, man. This is from top to bottom. There was very little, if any, just disruptors on the team. Just great dudes. Highest GPA in team history. 47 wins. Every day at practice showed up, and they just loved to play, man. And they loved each other. Very, very tight, close group, and it shows on the field. It shows on the field. There's a lot of talented teams out there who aren't as tight or don't like each other and stuff like that. And they don't win games. And this group, man, I can't say it enough how fun they were to be around every day.
Before we hit the break, Coach, we're going to ask you to hold around, if you will. We'll talk to you about baseball in general and some other postseason stuff. But here's a positive, guys. Sunday, you saw the future of the Golden Eagle baseball team on the field. Mm-hmm. When you had a brand-new shortstop, a brand-new third baseman, you're pitching freshmen in 2 games. And, Coach, we put 2 kids on the field that have rarely played all year, and we didn't miss a lick.
Yeah, Ty Long is going to be special, man. Y'all are going to love him. He is a baseball junkie. He's a gamer. hadn't had a start all year, hadn't played hardly all year in the field and in front of 6,000, just act like he was playing at Ripley High School. He's just a baseball player, man. He can really slow it down mentally. He's very tough. He's got that it factor too, that kind of Dickerson Monastery type it factor, where he's just a very, very confident kid and huge. He'd probably be a team captain next year as a sophomore. A great leader as well.
And Seth Smith has got the flow going with the long hair. That's going to
Coach, I thought Seth Smith looked extraordinarily athletic.
I'm telling you, man, this kid is good. He is really good.
No, Seth played his tail off the last 2 days. I mean, he saved a couple runs on defense, had a couple big knocks. I mean, Seth and Dre were battling out for a while, and then Dre just kind of ended up winning that job. But absolutely, with Ozzie gone and Monastery likely gone to the draft, you got to think Seth's definitely going to be right in there for a spot in the infield.
All right, and as we get closer to a break, Bob, here's something too. Listen to this long list of pitchers. Draft aside, this long list of pitchers that Southern Miss loses.
All right, hit them. We're hitting the break.
Best, Payne. That's it. That's it.
And maybe J.B. Mill.
Well, I'm saying draft aside.
Draft aside, yeah.
All right, we're going to continue our conversation with Coach Travis Creel. We're very happy that he's here. Daniel's in the studio with us. He's going to be here for the old hour, and
it'll get better, Bob.
we're
in mourning.
We're going to get through this show. Hang on.
Robinson Electric Supply in Laurel is a wholesaler and distributor that has been powering our community for over 20 years. With everything from conduits to tape, tools to home automation devices, if you can think of it, we supply it. All you need to do is talk us through the project at hand, and we'll ensure you're equipped to get it done right. To get all the electrical supplies you need, visit Robinson Electric at 519 North 13th Avenue or call us at 601-649-1317.
Hey, Southern Miss fans, TrustCare Health is proud to support the Golden Eagles and help keep our community in top shape, whether you're cheering at the Rock or the Peak. TrustCare has your back with convenient walk-in clinics and top-notch care for your urgent, primary, and kids' care needs. From game day injuries to everyday health needs, TrustCare is your go-to team. Visit us in Hattiesburg and Laurel, and let's keep the spirit of Southern Miss soaring to the top. Visit TrustCareHealth.com for more details. TrustCare Health. Feel better faster.
The Eagle Hour. Southern Miss to the top.
All right, welcome back to the Eagle Hour. Campus Bookmart sponsors this segment of the program as we broadcast from the Southern Bancorp studio. Daniel Stewart from Southern Bancorp, former Golden Eagle pitcher, and our baseball analyst is with us. Thank Mo Baby Beignet Company and Genesis of Hattiesburg. They've been with us all year long, all through baseball season, and we really do appreciate all the support that they give our program and hope that you'll do business with them. All right, Kelly, I brought up an interesting point, said you could address, Travis. We got a text from a listener, and maybe Mr. Payne could come back next year, correct?
Yeah, Landon is. He does have 1 more year of eligibility. It's that new. I'm sure y'all saw it. The Pavia or whoever the Vanderbilt quarterback rule is if you played JUCO the year that NIL started, you can get that extra year back. So Payne, if the draft doesn't work out, could come back.
And I did miss Flowers is also a senior, so Flowers would be gone.
Yeah, Flowers and Michael Fowler also.
Yeah,
another senior on.
But there is a core of super talented kids coming back, and as you've indicated, you think the pitching depth will be even deeper next year. So Southern Miss fans who are suffering like the 4 of us clearly are today. These are some sad-looking dudes in this studio, by the way.
Bob, I told you I got some stuff in my glove compartment that'll help you.
You would think we're talking about a funeral here today.
Well,
looking at everybody around me, Travis. But you guys, there's a heck of a core of talent coming back, and this Golden Eagle program has reached a point where this is not a one-off. I mean, these kids are going to be super competitive every year.
Yeah, like where we're at with our roster and where we're at with recruiting. And then, the portal opened yesterday. So, me and Coach Rhodes have already been on the phone constantly, and, probably add a couple more pieces in the portal for next year's team as well. So we like where the roster's at. Obviously, retention is our main key of keeping these guys here, and we feel like we have the culture and the locker room that we feel pretty comfortable that these guys will stay.
Right. All right. Now I'm going to ask you the easiest question you're going to get today, Coach. I want you to explain to me how UTSA put Texas out, Wright State put Vanderbilt out. There's a long list that I can't even keep up with. Murray State puts Ole Miss out. What is going on in college baseball? I personally think it's a wonderful thing.
I love it.
But what do you think, Coach?
My honest opinion, and I don't know if I'm right or not, I think a lot of those bigger schools, are so portal. They just build their team off the portal, and they just accumulate a bunch of talent. But I don't know if the locker room's there. I don't know if the chemistry's there. And I'm guessing UTSA and teams like that, Murray State, have a bunch of guys that have played 3 or 4 years together, and kind of like us, where that stuff matters. It really does. So. Baseball it's an awesome game too, because at the end of the day, anybody can beat anybody if you don't play your best. And where maybe in football, there's Alabama's not losing to Southern University. It's not happening. But in baseball, crazy stuff happens.
Well, let me throw this at you. This is what a friend of mine, one of my baseball friends, said to me, and tell me what your thought about this. He said, The great thing about college baseball is that a Columbia can come to Hattiesburg and upset Southern Miss. Southern Miss can go anywhere in the country and beat who they're playing. And when that disappears, if it ever does, then baseball becomes like college football, where it's just almost 100% predictable, and let's hope that never happens.
Yeah, and I don't think it will. I think, one, just the game itself, the beauty of the game. There's 5 plays last night that maybe didn't go our way. You can hit a ball hard and get out. You can hit a ball soft and get a hit. You can have a bad call and all kinds of things. So, baseball, it's why it's the most beautiful sport on earth. Is just a lot of factors go into winning a baseball game. So, I don't think that'll happen, at the college baseball level. I think you'll continue to see, probably more parity than any other sport.
Coach Creel, here's another question that a lot of people have asked me today. They said, how can Miami's pitching staff, generally speaking, be so ineffective 2 nights ago when you guys were seeing the ball so well? And then last night, it was almost the reverse. And I said, well, it's kind of like PGA touring pros. They'll shoot 64 one day, 78 the next. But how do you answer that question? What was Miami doing better last night from the bump that they weren't doing the night before?
Well, I think the night before, they started their Sunday guy. And we just jumped on him. We just, I don't know if he's making bad pitches. We're making good swings, and he scored 9. And then after that, they're not bringing in their guys. They think they're going to lose the game. They're bringing in their 8th, 9th, 10th best guy. And then yesterday their starter was really good, probably the game of his life, execution wise. And then they went to their 2 closers, Smith and whoever the guy at the end of the game's name that throws 98. They saved those guys. So there's more. They had their 3 of their best 5 pitchers pitching yesterday is my answer.
Well, Coach, I know in the past social media hasn't always been too kind to a hitting coach when there's been hitting struggles. But I look at our lineup this year, multiple guys batting over 300, 101 home runs on the year. A significant improvement year over year. What do you think? Is it just a maturity, or what's kind of happened internally for these guys to just really turn it on offensively and take kind of a huge leap forward on the offensive side?
Yeah, I think experience is everything. I mean, last year we had 6 new starters, and we got off to a really slow start. We ended up leading the Sun Belt in batting average and doubles, and then we got all those guys back pretty much, other than Slade and BMAC. Experience is everything. This year, basically, we just kind of picked up where we left off last year, and getting Russo and Gillespie and Pratt and all those guys so many at bats last year. carries over. So experience is huge in college baseball.
And back in my day, I played 2002 high school, ended in 1998. It was seemed like a different game, a lot of small ball. Last night we were kind of talking, there's still these guys get 2 strikes. Back in the day it was, hey, choke up, make contact, put it in play. Our guys are still, and not just our guys, every baseball player for every team, still taking some pretty big cuts on those 2 strike swings. Is that just a change in kind of philosophy? We're kind of still, hey, 2 strikes, doesn't matter. We're still trying to get a big hit. Is that on purpose, or is that just the hitter doesn't really care what the count is? They're still going to try to make good contact on the ball?
Ours is kind of guy to guy. So, I always tell them we need to have a realistic perception of who you are. With 2 strikes with Carson Pato, there's a lot of difference than 2 strikes with Jake Cook, So if you're not a guy who's going to hit a 2-strike chopper or a backside single and things like that, then yeah, we still want you to get your swing off and be aggressive. Where if you're a guy, unless the situation dictates that, where we need to do something, move runners and things like that. But yeah, the game has changed for sure, especially at the pro level. But I do think college is still, we don't like to strike out, but we do definitely want to hit extra base hits, and that's kind of our MO, is hitting doubles and homers.
Sure.
And I think we did a pretty good job of that.
Coach, going forward now with the MLB amateur draft coming up at the All-Star break this year, how soon will you guys as a staff have a much clearer picture as to who you're definitely going to be losing and who will most likely be staying?
It'll probably be closer to draft time. We have a pretty good idea of the definites right now, and there's a couple fringy ones as well, including a couple signees. I would say, Kelly, we have a pretty good idea right now, but it'll definitely get more clear a little bit later on.
And I know fans have heard the term exit meetings. If you're not an athlete, you probably don't necessarily know what that means at the college level, but educate our listeners as to what an exit meeting is and what it consists of.
Yeah, we just kind of sit down with them and talk about the year, talk about summer plans, talk about what needs to change, if anything does need to change. You talk finances in there, if anything's changing there. I think Coach Oz and Coach Berry both, do a really good job of being honest. We kind of pride ourselves in those exit meetings for being very honest with kids of what the future looks like, and things like that. So it's really just a plan for the future, plan for the summer, kind of going over the year, and kind of a plan of how we need to attack the next few months.
And do you guys get so honest that you might tell a player, I just don't think you're going to fit in really well going future, and you might want to think about the transfer portal?
Sure, yeah. Sometimes you have to. We want to do what's best for the program, but we also want to do what's best for these kids. And if you really, really want to be a starter next year, well, look at the depth chart. That may not happen. So you may need to look into the transfer portal and things like that. So we do our best, and I feel like we do maybe a better job than anybody in the country of not cutting 10 guys every year and starting over. We try to recruit at a level where we don't have to do that, because it's the worst part of the job.
So Bob, with me, and Daniel sitting here, do you want to tell me and Daniel anything as what we talk about exit meetings?
We're going to have an exit meeting with you right after the show, Kelly. Hey, Coach, you're a wonderful, wonderful baseball coach, great member of our program, and we're happy to say a good friend to all of us here. And we really appreciate all your work all year, and we thank you very much for being on the Eagle Hour.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
All right. Travis Creel, everybody, who sounds like you two look.
Yeah. Death warmed over. Huh?
We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the Eagle Hour. The Eagle Hour. Southern Miss to the top.
I want to thank our friends at Campus Book Mart on Hardy Street, campusbookmart.net, along with our buddies at 4th Street Bar and Grill. Live music now on the weekends. Cold Pabst Blue Ribbon, Kelly.
Bob, would you cheer up a little? Just a little.
Have you gotten away from them little foo-foo beers and drink you some PBRs?
I have.
Yeah.
And I sent you a picture from Indianapolis with the guy wearing the PBR hat.
Well, that's my kind of man. Kelly likes those like fruity little wine cooler type, seltzer type stuff.
That they drink up in Oxford.
Yes.
At the library in the rafters.
Super Talk Eagle Hour podcast. You can hear this nonsense again later today if you want to on Apple, Audible, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube. Or you can tell Alexa or Siri to play the Super Talk Eagle Hour. Real quickly, Kelly, tell me about the Be Quick promotion.
Well, Be Quick, first of all, is the gas station that's located on the corner of Highway 98 and Hegwood Road, like you're turning to go to Optimus Park, where the little baseball park is there. And you'll go in there and you'll ask them for your little buffalo decal. That's kind of the mascot for the Be Quick stores. So you put that decal on your car, and then they're going to have spotters driving around to Hattiesburg. And if they see that decal on your car, you're going to be eligible to win some really nice prizes like Saints football experience, which people say, what is the Saints football experience? I understand that it's a guaranteed Saints win. So it will definitely be an experience.
Yeah,
I don't see many of those lately.
A rare
Mossy Oak shopping spree, a Royal Caribbean cruise for 4, or a Biloxi offshore fishing trip.
You remembered all of that?
Well, I want to win, Bob. I want to win.
Look at that brain working in there. We've known for a long time it's a weird brain working in there, but it's a functioning brain.
People ask me, are you a radio guy? I said, no, I'm actually a magician. I turned a massage into 2 kids and a mortgage. One time about 30 years ago.
All right, Daniel Stewart, the guys go 47-16, 6-3 in postseason play. But you made an interesting comment. You said you never hear the term the football gods or the basketball gods, but the baseball gods you hear about.
Yeah.
Explain what you meant about that.
You know, baseball is just different, and Travis Creel, or Coach Creel kind of alluded to it a little while ago, but go back to when we played Columbia. Their second baseman had a great game, made 2 really good plays. Columbia got the breaks. We didn't get the breaks. That's the baseball gods. The next time we played them, well, we got all the breaks, had all the big hits. The baseball guys kind of shined out on us. Carson Pato yesterday, the baseball god shined down on him, let him have his last at bat, be a 2-run homer off the scoreboard. It's hard not to be romantic about baseball because there's so many intricate little things that just make it such a different game than basketball and baseball.
And he talked about one of our guys stinging the ball with the first baseman, stabs and makes the catch. They have a little high chopper that should have been an out, and just because it took so long to come down out of the air, it's an infield hit. So,
yeah.
Just one of those things.
It's another game, too, and I think what's so magnificent about it is the entire game can turn on one pitch.
Absolutely.
One pitch.
Well, there's no clock. You know, you play 9 innings or maybe a run rule. There is no clock ticking down to when this game is over. You're going to play it until there's 27 outs, and whoever wins after that. So you can win it in the 9th or win it in the 1st.
And it's the sport for the little guy. And I'm talking literally, physically, small guys can play baseball and be good. If you're a small guy, you might be able to play DB as a high school football player, but if you're not fast enough, if you're not small and fast, you don't have a future. Here, small guys can be every bit as good as the big guys. It's a great equalizer athletically. And people go, well, what about soccer? Okay, what about soccer? If you look at pro soccer worldwide, Ronaldo and all those guys, they're 6'4".
Yeah.
A lot of those guys are big and strong and athletic, so it's not a whole lot different. But baseball, there is room for the little guy.
College baseball, my humble opinion, that $8 to get you a cup of coffee at Starbucks, the greatest sport in the world. I just don't think there's any second.
I'm probably partial because I've been there, played it. Baseball was my first love. I was 5 years old, playing in my front yard, throwing myself pop flies. So I'm probably biased a little bit. But, I mean, like we said, it's just a game where you've got a bunch of guys, and take our team, for example, love each other, love the game, love playing baseball, respectful group of kids, good students, good athletes. It's hard not to love that.
And the dream goes on for some of these smaller schools. Sure. Like, Daniel, if I were to, not to put you on the spot, but just to have fun, do you even know what state in our country Wright State is in?
No idea.
It's in Ohio. but not many people. And Daniel's a baseball guy.
Yeah.
But you got Wright
No
State
idea.
playing in a super regional.
Yeah.
Coastal Carolina now the lone torchbearer for the Sun Belt. What's one of the other
Murray
small
State.
schools?
Murray State.
The
Murray
Racers
State.
from Kentucky.
Yeah.
UTSA.
Yeah, UTSA is another one. So these are,
And Little Rock almost pulled off the upset against LSU last night.
and I would argue.
With a losing overall record.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Chris Curry, though, their head coach from former Meridian Community College catcher, coached at MCC. For
Coach
a year.
Barry talked about that.
Yeah, they're good friends.
Yes, they are.
He told us yesterday.
So that sport, more than even in the Sweet 16 or the 64 in the basketball tournament, you don't see the number of upsets in basketball that you do in baseball.
College baseball. This has been a great year for college baseball in that regard too.
Yeah.
All right, last half of this segment. Let's look into the hourglass here. I'll start with you, Kelly. Who do you think on this roster the major leagues will come snatch away?
I think the ones that Coach Creel was alluding to was Jake Cook. For one, I think that he's a slam dunk for everything, the skill set. If he had a weakness, it's not any weakness that he can really control. It's his size, but my goodness, he does everything else beautifully. So I think him for sure. J.B. Middleton, of course, but that's not been a secret. I mean, they've said from the middle of the year that he's going to be somebody. And then you got. I really, really like Nick Monaster. Didn't have a great regional necessarily, but man, he had everything else great.
Oh yeah,
and leadership and the leadership and his baseball acumen. And I can't imagine that he would be a bubble player. I'd be all over him. But I follow him a lot closer than maybe some other guys.
Yeah.
How about you, Daniel?
To me, JB's kind of the obvious choice to make there. He's 95 to 97. He's got a great slider, and to throw that hard has a really good changeup. Which you translate that to being a pro baseball player. I don't care. Those guys throwing 100, 105 miles an hour still getting hit. So you've got to have that good changeup, and I think that translates to the next level. But offensively, we've got some really good players. But you look at the guy, like you said, Jake Cook. Look at his tools. He's really got just a leg up. He's fast. He's got a strong arm. We know it doesn't hit for a lot of power, but what did he bat? 331. So I think he's going to get quite a few looks from pro scouts.
What do you think about Colby Allen? You think he goes or stays?
Well, we've talked about it a lot. Just because you might not throw extremely fast or be a big guy doesn't make you not a good baseball player. I think he's a great baseball player, one of the best sliders I've ever seen. But you have to put yourself in the shoes of a scout, and they're looking at future performances. I think Colby probably needs to get a little bit stronger, try to work on some velocity. If he's throwing 94 to 96, I think we're having a different conversation as opposed to him throwing 91 to 92.
If he stays, then I think this weekend you saw next year's team. Mm-hmm. You saw the infield, right? Mm-hmm. With the kids that played third and shortstop Sunday night. You're going to move one of them to second. Graydon, your third baseman is going to get
Seth Smith.
And then you're going to have Seth Smith probably playing second, right?
Probably.
And you know who your shortstop is, and you know who your third baseman is.
Dre Barrett, yeah.
And if Colby Allen stays, I think you got a preview of your weekend starters, and I think you saw them all Sunday.
Well, even behind the plate, Tucker Stockman's a sophomore,
right?
And it's going to be interesting to see how that battle works out with Loss. Loss. I always want to call him Levi.
Lawson Odom,
and Tucker Stockman, because they battled it out earlier on in the year, and
you got Davis Gillespie sitting around.
I'm wondering what's going on with Davis. Maybe it's more so mentally, because he never really got a chance to kind of get out of that slump. But it's because Ben Higdon really just turned it on. Yeah. I'm hoping Gillespie maybe doesn't say, I just need a fresh start somewhere. I don't think he will.
Yeah, well, if he stays, you can see him in right field. Higdon has locked down.
He's got the talent. He's got everything he needs to be successful. He's just got to get it figured out and get back on track.
Yeah. And Higdon, you're not going to take Higdon out of left field.
No.
So you got to find yourself a center fielder. But Kelly, you correct me if I'm wrong. I think this staff has so stockpiled this baseball program that I just don't think they'll take a step back next year.
Well, that's what I was saying. You know your program is in good shape when you do have an Ozzie Pratt go down. Mm-hmm. We just put in Ty Long. I mean,
yeah.
Next. You know, and that's a great position to be in. You just hope that the players are dedicated and loyal enough and don't have their parents chirping in their ear. You know, you got an opportunity to go to Le Moyne and be the starter. Which is getting to be more and more of a problem.
To me, the fun thing about if there's a fun thing about the end of a baseball season, who is going to be next year's Colby Allen, the guy that kind of emerges out of nowhere? Who's going to be that neat story? Is it going to be the Camden Sundstrom who all of a sudden takes huge leaps forward and is maybe our Sunday to Saturday starter? That's the fun stuff that I like to see, in between baseball seasons.
And I do want to report, we do have an update, Bob. The baseball that hit Russo the other night has been released from medical care.
Yes, but it's staying home for several weeks to recover.
But the baseball has been cleared.
And the Bull will be back.
He will be.
Boy, and he became a celebrity, did
Yes,
he not?
did.
All right, we'll wrap it up. Stay with us.
Robinson Electric Supply in Laurel is a wholesaler and distributor that has been powering our community for over 20 years. With everything from conduits to tape, tools to home automation devices, if you can think of it, we supply it. All you need to do is talk us through the project at hand, and we'll ensure you're equipped to get it done right. To get all the electrical supplies you need, visit Robinson Electric at 519 North 13th Avenue or call us at 601-649-1317.
Hey, Southern Miss fans, TrustCare Health is proud to support the Golden Eagles and help keep our community in top shape, whether you're cheering at the Rock or the Peak. TrustCare has your back with convenient walk-in clinics and top-notch care for your urgent, primary, and kids' care needs. From game day injuries to everyday health needs, TrustCare is your go-to team. Visit us in Hattiesburg and Laurel, and let's keep the spirit of Southern Miss soaring to the top. Visit TrustCareHealth.com for more details. TrustCare Health. Feel better faster.
Southern Miss to the top. To the top. You're tuned in to the Eagle Hour.
DBAT sponsors this segment of the SuperTalk Eagle Hour. That's that state-of-the-art facility on Hardy Street. DBAT, great place to take your children for softball, baseball training. Don't forget about MCS Home Center in Bellevue, 7329 US 98. Out west of town, beautiful, beautiful store. Everything for your home, your lawn, your garden. Great local staff of people who actually interested in helping you. I tell you what, if you want a culture shock, walk in MCS Home Center and see how many people come up and say, "Can I help you?" And if you're used to the big box stores, you're looking around going like, "Who's talking to me?"
They're hiding. They don't even want to know that they don't want you to know they're working.
MCS Home Center. They're eager to help you make your shopping experience there.
But at MCS Home Center, they say, "May I help you, Mr. Getty?"
No, they don't.
Yeah.
No one says that to me. No one says that to me.
Angela doesn't.
No, she's the last person.
Your dinner's on the stove.
Yeah. My wife hadn't said much since last night. She wears that baseball team on her heart, and I saw quite a few tears there at the end of the game last night, Daniel.
Yeah, it's not the way we wanted our season to end. And, when you start the season, you have goals, win the conference tournament, make it to a regional, make it to a super, make it to Omaha. So, it's hard to say it's a letdown because, honestly, I'm let down that we didn't get to proceed. But you really look at the season we had, and we had a great year.
Yeah, Kelly, I guess you can understand this. I feel so invested in it because I spend so much time covering it, talking to kids, talking to coaches, following the team. I didn't miss a single game, whether it was on some of them I watched on TV because it was too far to go, but I did not miss a single game. I saw all 47 wins. It's tough to let go of that, isn't it?
I think it's because, again, the emotional toll that I put this comparison. You can be in a class in school with somebody for 4 years. Mm-hmm. No big deal. Right? You don't have a reunion at homecoming with your science class, Mrs. Kilmer's science class that you were in. But when you are at practice every day with these guys and you You know everything about them, their families. There is that emotional expenditure that takes place. Sports has a bonding way of life that keeps you in touch with those people forever. And it doesn't matter whether you're a man, a woman, whatever sport. You've been through those wars together, man, and it's always those same guys you get together with at homecoming. You get to be 30 years later.
Well, I saw a guy last night I hadn't seen in a long time. He and I played together, a guy named Griff Israel. Griff was our first baseman, a year younger than me, and he came in. He lives in Birmingham, came in to watch the game, and I had to take a double take at him. Oh, gosh, hey, Griff. So we got to catch up. But you're right. I mean, when you practice every day together, go to school, work out together, eat together, you do develop an extremely strong bond that lasts your whole lifetime.
Yeah. And I talked to Griff. He was very appreciative that you kept the grade point average of the team up, Daniel.
Well, Griff probably kept it really high. He's a super smart guy.
No, people always said that they loved watching you play at Southern Miss because the only time you got to play is when we had a big lead. So
hey, I just did my job, Kelly. Just did my job
to hold that lead,
protecting the lead.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know how much baseball I'll watch the rest of the year. Probably none for a while till this sting ends. But you got to really hope Coastal makes a run, man. They represent the Sun Belt. And you'd love to see them in the World Series.
They do, and too, I kind of feel like they're kind of cut from the same cloth as we are. You know, a lot of guys that maybe got overlooked by some of the bigger programs that are there because they love baseball, they love their teammates. So yeah, I'm kind of rooting for them.
How awesome would it be if Murray State, Wright State, San Antonio, and Coastal all made it in the College World Series?
I don't know. It's kind of neat because you're like, who are these teams that are here that aren't normally here? It's kind of refreshing to see some of these guys, but it also goes back to baseball is one of those games where I don't care how much money you pump into it, what conference you're playing in, any team can get beat on any given night.
And the biggest evidence of that supports that theory is the way that Coastal Carolina put Florida out, and the Florida personnel act like such babies.
Yeah.
Like like they got the short end of the stick even having to go to Conway, South Carolina.
So out of all this long list of SEC, didn't every SEC school short of 2 make it to the regionals? I think I'm right about that.
Something like that.
Something like that.
How many are left?
LSU.
I'm trying to get it pulled up right
Arkansas,
now.
Tennessee, Auburn.
4 out of I want to say 13. Am I right about that?
But 2 of in the next round are going to play each other. Tennessee and Arkansas are going to play each other. Coastal will go to Auburn, and LSU, I believe, is going. They're hosting, aren't they? UCLA?
They're hosting
LSU
West Virginia,
hosting West Virginia
from the Big 12. Yeah,
who barely got by the University of Arkansas Little Rock with a record of 27-33. That's hard
I look at this Super Regional, which is kind of like the Sweet 16 of baseball. You got Murray State playing Duke. One of those 2 teams is going to go to Omaha,
right?
You know, and Duke, obviously ACC school, big endowments there, but Murray State's they're going to be my favorite going forward.
Me and you both, and I'm on the Coastal bandwagon.
Me
I want
too.
to see those guys make it. I want to see all the little schools playing each other in the World Series.
Absolutely.
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Daniel, thanks so much, man, for the contribution all year.
Absolutely.
We love having you on the show, and you're welcome here anytime.
Great.
And you'll be back tomorrow, right, Kelly?
Me, not so much. Did you see how you went?
Kelly and I are about
You're
to have
welcome anytime.
Kelly's about to have that exit meeting.
We're about to have an exit meeting, Kelly and I, and we'll report the outcome of that tomorrow.
You will be.
Southern Miss.
To the top.
To the top.
Waiting. You do it at grocery stores, in traffic, and at the doctor's office. But what if you could skip the wait altogether? Introducing Trust Care Plus, a healthcare membership that makes feeling better even faster. Skip the waiting room and enjoy priority access at any Trust Care clinic. Sick kid? Text your care crew day or night. Get discounts on prescriptions and so much more. Wait no more. Feeling better just got a whole lot faster. Join Trust Care Plus today. Plans start from just $15 a month. Learn more at trustcarehealth.com/plus.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.